So I wasn't going to make a video this week because we are in the process of moving to a new place, but these two things just came in the mail, and I have to share this with you. I've never done an unboxing video. I don't know if this is going to go super well because I can't do more than one thing at once. I can only do one thing at a time. So cutting things open and talking to you about them at the same time may not go over very well, but I'm going to try my best. So if you have followed along on this channel at all, you know a little bit about my Contax 645 Sega story. Woo! If you haven't, I guess last fall, I destroyed my Contax 645 lens, which was very expensive, by dropping it on the ground unintentionally. So when that happened, I had insurance cover it and all of that, but it made me really think twice about the gear that I was using, and was it the best use of my resources? Was it the best gear for what I was doing for wedding photography? So, after much agonizing and thinking, which one should I do first? Let's do this one first. After much agonizing and thinking over this whole thing, I came on kind of a decision. I did sell part of my Contax. And I'll tell you more about that maybe in the future. But this is the first big swing at figuring out what kind of gear I should be using in my wedding photography, specifically film photography. So I know what I'm shooting with digital. It's a Nikon Z6 II. I love them. I talk about all the lenses that I use on different videos, but it came down to this. So this is the lens. What will it be? Okay, hold on. Ooh, it's beautiful and tiny. Ooh, that's very nice. Okay, all the way from Japan. This is a Nikon 35mm 1.4. This is a manual focus lens. Oh, and it's beautiful. And if you hear me talk about camera brands, you know that I am a faithful Nikon person. Not because it's perfect, but just because I've loved it. It was the first camera that I've ever was given, actually, by my parents. And I've just always loved it. I love the look and I love the feel of the brand. So this little lens is I think, going to be kind of the keystone of my film work, not like video film, but film photography as I shoot weddings. And the body is in here. I got both the camera body and the lens off eBay. I've always had pretty good luck purchasing on eBay. Okay, here's a hint. There's a Nikon strap. So it's got to be a Nikon camera too. Ooh. Oh, she's so pretty. Wow. All right. It's the Nikon FM2. This, from what I know about it, it's in very nice shape. It's in they said mint condition, but you know, it's different when you see it in person if it actually is mint condition. From what I read about it, it's just like it's a pretty manual camera. Let's hear the shutter. Okay, so after struggling for a while, I was trying to hit the shutter and it didn't work, and I was like, what is wrong with the cameras? There's something wrong with it, the batteries. Anyways, after Googling, I realized that this little guy needs to be pulled out in order for the shutter to work. So here is the sound of it. Ready? Ready? Okay, it's very satisfying. The viewfinder is really quite bright and nice. first thoughts about it is I did read this about this lens, is that you can focus very close, about this close away from this lens, which is very cool. Pretty much the reason why I got this camera is I love the look of it. I love it's very like clean black. I feel very classic Nikon, and I'm going to be using it tonight to test it out. So what I'll be doing with this camera is testing it out in the next days and weeks. And then I'm going to share a bit of a review with it with you guys and also with myself, because I'm trying to figure out how to best optimizing using film in my wedding photography. And I think using some 35mm as opposed to medium format is going to be better as a whole. Right now, where I'm standing is thinking of using a 35mm throughout the day, and then pulling out my medium format, possibly my Contax 645, for really specific parts of the day that I want to do that. So like maybe sunset portraits is a time to pull out the Contax and to shoot it, put it back in my bag, and be done with it. Using the Contax all day was just too cumbersome for me. It was holding me back, it was slowing me down, and I didn't like the workflow of it anymore. I had loved using it for the last several years, but I'm realizing that it's not doing exactly what I want it to do anymore for me. So I'm very excited. Film is still a huge aspect of my work as a wedding photographer, and I'm really excited about this process of kind of reinventing that. And then the last thing I wanted to update you guys on is that while we are moving our house, that also means that I'm not gonna have my home studio anymore. I'm actually moving into a studio all of itself. It's a really tiny studio, but I'm gonna do like a little studio tour. It'll be just like a tiny, super tiny room, but I'm really excited to have a dedicated space that I can film these videos, but also do my wedding photography work as well. So that's coming up. But until that happens, which is not for another few weeks from now, we're probably gonna have these videos in very random locations. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. It's nice.